Mark Rufus, I see you over there. Thank you very much for them likes. Oh, I appreciate it so much. Any kind of liking, any kind of sharing especially. If you guys share that stuff on Facebook or like it on Facebook, I am over here just loving it, feeling all gracious and things. The main thing here too, that we are ready to double toast it because we are double toast pre-show. What is up, everybody? Over there on the YouTube land, over there in the Twitch land, everywhere you guys have come from, I appreciate it. You guys have heard my voice already today. We did the wrestling show a little bit ago. I was doing the Impact Wrestling review for Hard to Kill. It was a very fun review, and it was very fun to actually hang out with you guys and see you guys over here in the chat still. You know, and MX Xavier talking about I love sexual chocolate. He means the wrestler, by the way, not the sexual chocolate, even though that's pretty good too. But no, I am actually joined by Alan Shakespeare. But the thing is, though, I think his internet messed up, so he'll be back here in a little bit or whatever the fuck's going on with that. But the thing is, though, I'm with you guys, chilling by myself right now. I might actually go ahead and play a video game in the meantime because there's so many topics here. I want to make sure that we get some voices in here talking about the things that we're going to be talking about. We don't have a Ganja Guru in here yet. We don't have a Roxy in here yet, but I heard that they did review or watch actually something they were going to review tonight, which was the MLK/FBI movie. I don't know what that is. I think it's a documentary. I don't know. Then he also did My Friend Martin or Our Friend Martin or something like that. So we'll definitely let them review that once they come in the call and everything too. But I just want to say, dude, I have appreciated so much support from you guys recently. I don't get a whole lot of time to actually talk about that. I wish I did have the time to talk about that because you guys do not know how much shit you guys do for us. Anytime you guys are like sharing the fucking stream, liking the stream, talking in the chat, whatever, it helps me out so very much. So thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my fucking farts and my hearts, big farts indeed. I just love you guys, seriously. So over there on YouTube, I know people are over there on YouTube, the YouTube lands. Let me see, I'm gonna say something here. Hey, y'all from Double Toasted's YouTube stream, come say hi. There we go. I'm over here talking in that particular group too. I want you guys to come in there. Jada Jump, he's saying the Twitch alert was better than anything I've gotten from a Tinder notification. Well, that's awesome, man. That's actually nice. I do hope that you do have more Tinder notifications in the future, dude. It's just not a fun thing to go on there and people are just swiping. I don't know how Tinder works. I think they swipe left and that's a bad thing, or maybe the vice versa of that. Bad Boy saying "Goo in a bend." I don't know what that means, but thank you. Whatever that. I think that's a compliment. That might be a good thing. So thank you for that. Edward is Cool93. Hello, how you doing, dude? I'm glad that you're over here as early as you are again. I really appreciate that. Mauricio, hopefully you had a good day at work, man. See you over here just getting out of work. Yeah, man. Oh, that's good eating in German. Oh, well, shit. Guten Abend. Like, I'm still trying to make it sound mean. Guten Abend. They just fucking bark. But anyways, guys. No, I was literally talking to Alan in here when he was in here a minute ago, and it was fucking awesome. It was fun. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I started the stream, he just went, boom, boom. He fucking just, he's gone. Swiping up, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because let's talk about that, man. I want to, since you're kind of, your name's Jada Jamba, so your actual name's not out there. I'm pretty sure you don't have to be embarrassed by any kind of stories you want to give me. So yeah, is swipe up a pass on you, or is that a, no, I'm gonna fuck him. I will tell you this much, dude. I've always had more experience talking, like on regular social medias when I'm trying to hit up girls. The DMs thing, people are like, oh, like it's embarrassing again somebody's DMs. No, it's not embarrassing. You gotta be fucking straightforward. You gotta go right for it, dude. So I think that's pretty cool too. I even used to flirt with girls on like Words with Friends. Like if you play like those fucking games on your mobile phone, and like you can kind of be with somebody else who's like has a brain and shit. I think that's actually a pretty cool, fun thing there. But I heard a ding, Alan. I think you're here, sir.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, what happened?
It just died right before the show.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully I sound better.
Yeah, but I was gonna tell you before because we were testing out the camera and everything. You look great.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. No, you look and sound great. Everything's cool. We're streaming, by the way. So like. But,
I know. I figured as much. That's why I'm kind of. You don't have to tell me. I know we're on.
Okay. Well, I mean, communication's pretty fucking.
Yeah, but I thought we could be like cool, like, oh yeah, totally, and then continue to stream, like, hi people, stuff like that.
Okay, I don't know, man. I can't read your fucking mind, dude. But anyways,
we've been doing this for how long, man?
By the way,
I thought we had
just so you know, like, doing it how long does not mean anything. We're doing this for 5 years with Ganja. He's still not here right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay,
but people are wondering. For people are wondering, I didn't suddenly get taller. I got a new chair.
Yeah, no. Can I show the pictures, by the way?
Oh, yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, we'll do that really quick. Do you put it on your Facebook or you just put it in that chat that we share?
I did post. I posted Penelope on the share on my Facebook, but I can resend it to the chat just so you got it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna show you guys really quick. Here's a picture of Alan's chair, and this is Ganja making sure that he feels free at home. Right here, Ganja's actually wiping his ass on the chair.
What the
So
fuck?
yeah, that's a chair.
That's
Right
not my chair.
That's
That
a
looks
pretty nice
nothing
chair,
like me.
Ganja. That's Alan. That's a nice chair, man. I'm glad you let Ganja sit on it first.
No, I said it. Okay, so I said my old chair, and I'm gonna send my new chair in a second. If it would process, I hope my internet doesn't die because that's why I wasn't on right away. My internet died. I hope this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Well, if it happens, it is what it is. But yeah, you even dressed it up and everything too. Because I'm looking at one of the older pictures here. Here we go. Here we go. So, by the way, I gotta say this is actually a pretty thick boy chair for a thick boy ass. Look how much is loading. Okay, now it's good. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's in bad shape, dude. What happened? How'd it break?
So okay, so for people that have ever had office chairs, they usually come in three pieces. You have the back piece, you have the bottom piece, and then you have the rest of the metal and the base.
Mm-hmm.
In order to attach the metal part, the piston, to the base, you need to put 4 screws in, or 4 screws in. The problem is the one in the metal part for one of the corners just broke off.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's very wobbly.
Okay, so it's not like a thing where like it literally broke and you almost fell or anything like that, right?
No. It's a little situation where it's like if I lean back, it'd be like on this weird angle.
Yeah.
You know?
And you guys kind of saw a piece of it right now when you just turned, but here is a really good picture of that right here. I'm digging it. Look at Penelope, y'all just chill on top of it too, just like, what's up? My chair too, punk.
That's actually one of the reasons specifically I won't get a gaming chair, mostly because I think they look ugly as fuck. They're not comfortable, and gaming chairs are like racing chairs for some reason because apparently all gamers are 4-year-olds because we want race cars. It's angled up, so you wouldn't be able to sit on the back of my chair at all.
Really? Okay.
It'd be like right above my head. It'd be weird.
I gotta make sure to start going into these things on a mod account because I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm literally a mod. Twitch, you gotta get your shit together, dude. YouTube does not have this issue where it's like hard to figure out how to ban somebody or delete.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I was gonna say they have bots too.
Yeah, but it's easy to get rid of it. It's like this. I literally have no idea how to. Like I'm in 3 different chats literally right now as we speak, guys, and there's no fucking removal option. It's just like
maybe we just went to the website.
No, that's where I'm at.
No. Sorry, the website at the bigfollows.com. Maybe we just went there.
Oh, it's stupid. No, but hey, Gary's saying Alan's bird chair. Yes, that is. Okay, so by the way, I hope you don't do this too much today, Gary, because I'm pretty sure it probably got on his fucking nerves. But man, dude, Saturday we went in on Alan's Shake-A-Zine for an hour and a fucking half. We bodied your ass, dude.
Look, this might come across as like whatever, but at the end of the day, look, I wasn't mad when I popped in the after. I was like, I can't believe. Like I was just fucking with y'all mostly. Like I said, all this stuff is in good fun. I've seen what Gary could do if he really, really fucking wants to do weird shit. So it's like, at the end of the day, it was all in good fun.
Yeah, no, but if you guys want to see those kind of things, make sure you join us over there on Saturday after we do the Chat Tag show, which is our show. It's not Double Toast Pre-Show. We get to talk about whatever the fuck we want on the Saturday show. But right after we're done with that, we usually go into an after-hours call, which is inside Discord, and you guys can come in there and shoot the shit with us all night and, bully people, apparently. But we'll try not to continue the bullying, though. It's just last night that really fit.
It was just weird as fuck because I'm like, I was like looking at that. I'm like, huh, what's going on in the Discord? What the fuck is going on in the Discord?
Yeah. Marissa saying they had an impromptu after hours last night, which is really cool. I'm glad you guys did that. I know you guys are watching football and watching Clone Wars or whatever, Star Wars thing, but I can imagine that
I've actually been watching that. For people that are wondering what I do with my free time, I've actually been watching Clone Wars. I think I finished about the first season. So I'm watching it in the actual like order you're supposed to. So I've seen the movie and I've seen a bunch of so I've basically seen most of season 1. I've just started season 2.
Really? Okay, I'm surprised. I'm glad that you're watching it in the way you're supposed to, too, because that's another thing that people have been saying, like, oh, I'm watching the way that Netflix has it or whatever, and then you watch it and it's, like, confusing or whatever. There's a bunch of context missing. One of the biggest jokes that Gertz is trying to, like, push down our fucking throats is the whole, like, it looks like VeggieTales. I don't see that. I think this actually looks okay. But I'm also a person, I gotta keep this in mind, guys. I'm the kind of guy that was watching fucking Beast Wars and was, like, amazed.
It's very similar. I think it's a little bit better quality, but this is very similar to, like, Beast Wars and Reboot. But the thing that threw me off right now is that I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. I kind of just like, well, I hear good things about season 7, but this show is fantastic. It does what we've always wanted with Star Wars. You're going to new worlds, you're going to new planets, you're dealing with cool aliens. It has cool fighting. Almost every episode, there's some cool shit going on. It really adds a lot to the characters. Like, there's this random episode, this random Jedi, he's just fighting a bunch of shit off. You're like, okay, it's gonna be an action episode. And he's like, no, I will not let these people die. I'll do everything I can to save them. And then there's this army coming towards this dude, and he's just chilling with this clone. And there's a million guys look just like him. He's chilling with this clone going, well, we're gonna die, aren't we? He's like, yes, but let's die like with pride. And they're fighting off the robots and then get killed. I'm like, what the fuck? This is a kid show. It's fucking amazing, but I'm just like, every episode has something cool. Even though it all feels like a filler, everything has something going on. And they have these like really like weekly episodes where it's very like, hey, this whole episode is assigned into this 120-minute chunk, and then maybe we'll connect it to the next episode. But then after that, we go into a new story.
Yeah. Well, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, like, in another show that I've been wanting to watch is Star Wars Rebels. I feel like I need to watch Clone Wars first, not because of canonical things or whatever, or chronological stuff, but just because I think this is probably a newer version of that. So, like, you obviously want to start off with something that doesn't look as good, so you kind of increase in quality. But then again, people are, as far as storyline goes, they talk shit about this one. So it's like, yeah, go ahead.
You understand, is the same way they talk shit about The Mandalorian, is that Star Wars has such a high bar that if it's not a 9, it's a 0 to them.
Yeah, which is weird because there's a lot of fucking not 9s.
There's a lot of garbage. For people that are perfectionists when it comes to your franchise, most of your shit is garbage. Like, I'm gonna be real. But by the way, I don't care what anyone tells me. If anyone comes up to me a straight face and tells me Jar Jar Binks is a good character, I'm punching them in the dick. Because he is the worst. Every time he shows up, I swear to God, I've seen him in 4 episodes. I want to strangle him until he dies. Every time I see him. He just comes in and is bumbling, Misa, and he fucks everything up, gets almost everybody killed consistently, fucks up any plan that happens. I'm like, why are people okay with this character?
Yeah, man, no,
I'll fight Oz. I mean, I won't, but, like, I'll have a polite disagreement.
Here's the thing, though, man. And this is one of the most like quick fucking segues I've ever done. But while Ganja and Rocks are not here yet, I'm gonna give you a chance to actually go through this without someone making fun of you. So with that said, not Batman. See, I'm more fucking up. Batwoman.
You're fucking up the gender pronouns.
I swear, man. And by the way, I was talking on the stream earlier today because I kept calling women wrestling, girls wrestling, and Solidus in the chat was like, hey, man, it's women wrestling. I'm like, dude. That's going to be canceled soon, too, because you can't even say female anymore. All girls in our chat tag panel, by the way, have yelled at me for saying females.
Look, I want to point out that it took Solidus to call you out on this. Man, you fell hard.
He calls you out on everything. How the fuck?
No, what I mean is, like, the amount of shit he says about women, and he's like, I can't believe you're talking shit about that. I'm like, Nick, man, what were you doing?
No, all I said was girls wrestling, because does that sound bad?
Yeah, I'm fucking with you, man, because Solidus is a bitch. Yeah, I said it.
Damn.
I don't give a fuck. He's not in the chat. If he comes in, I'll tell him to his face. Solidus, you a bitch.
But do you see how that could be an issue, like calling grown women girls, or not?
I mean, it's weird. I think at the end of the day, it's like it just depends on. It depends on the context. It depends on the tone, and it just depends on the individual. There are going to be people that don't want to be called girls because they're like, oh, that's a child. It's like imagine someone calling you a boy. But like in a really condescending tone. It's like, what, you're making me feel less than. So, but then again, it really just depends on the person. So it's like, I don't think certain things are going to get canceled as long as they're well intentioned. Like Batwoman it's not just like it's based on the characters, so it's based on comic book history. Same thing with Supergirl. Supergirl is going on 6 seasons. They even actually talk about the fact that they just don't call it Superwoman instead. It's like, what's wrong with being a girl? There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Yeah, well then, I'm glad that we actually had that dialogue, but at the same time, when Roxy comes up and asks her, she'll be like, no, you need to call him this, and then she's going to hit me with
it depends. Like, Roxy might specifically be like, hey, I don't like to be called that. Could you call me that? It's like, okay, with respect to her decision, and her views are going to be different, but at the end of the day, what Roxy wants to be referred to as is her right.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely. Oh, man, those women's rights. I can't believe it. No, anyways. Oh, yes. Welcome to 4chan. No, but the thing is, though, we're going to get into this fucking this Batwoman thing. Yeah, Season 2, Episode 1 finally came out. Here's the thing, though, man. I'm very curious what you thought of the first season first before we get into, like, Episode 1 of Season 2. What'd you think of the first season, man?
Honestly, it was atrocious. I think that from the acting of Ruby Rose, who at this point couldn't emote to save her life, make her a Terminator because don't give her any range. The action was fucking awful except for like 1 or 2 episodes. The stories were honestly they went from just like recycled Batman stories to when they're coming with their own shit. It is just badly acted, badly written, badly shot. Everything about that first season was just bad. And you could tell it's like about halfway through the character just stopped caring because it just kept getting worse. There was like 1 or 2 good episodes because they had the crisis happen, which fucked up the entire universe. So you had them deal with that, which is probably the best episodes of the series because it was the darkest episodes they ever fucking did. But it showed that everybody else was trying their best, but you can tell that the writing was really bad and the main actress was so bad that it's just like it's a struggle to watch every episode. I binged the last 4, but like man, I don't want to do this again. So then I heard the main actress was leaving. I was like, yo, what the fuck? She's leaving. What are they gonna do? Like, are they just gonna recast everyone? No, they keep everyone saying like, what the fuck are they gonna do? So the first episode is whatever happened to Cassandra Cain, or Kate Kane, sorry. That's the main character. And I'm like, what are they gonna do? First episode, plane crash. I'm like, no, they're not gonna do that. Oh no, they did not.
That's kind of badass.
Ass off. They just said fuck it and blew a plane up, like a private jet or whatever, and it's like she's dead. I'm like, wait, what? I haven't seen a kill a character off screen in a plane crash. I can't remember the last time I saw it. Like, this is a situation where it's like this person's contract got fucked up and they just killed him off screen. There's like no body. So I think they're going to do like a couple episodes where they want to like chase, see if she's alive. Maybe she like escaped or whatever, or they find her body or whatever. But they just kill her off screen type shit. Because they're like, she's not coming back. She doesn't want to be back. She hates the character and she hates the amount of effort it takes to do this television stuff. So they got somebody else who, Ryan Wilder. I forget the actress's name, but she's pretty good. Like, I honestly like the way they're portraying her character as kind of someone who's been fucked over by the system because she's generally a good person, but got fucked over for the system for various fucking reasons. They actually, the writing is still terrible, but she's doing the best she can with what she's given. And they do this like a try bullshit where it's like, oh, she's a martial arts expert, which means she's going to be able to know how to fight because Kate Kane, trained with the League of Shadows. So it's like, how are you just going to give the suit to some rando? But I like that they're not doing it right away where they're building up to it. So as much as like I hated the Batwoman in the last one, this first episode was fantastic. It gave me everything that I wanted. It established that all the characters are freaking out that she's dead. It's giving us a new character, and they're doing something interesting where the new character is having to learn about the old Batwoman, but then the old team has to learn about the new girl because she finds the suit. So it's a lot of really cool shit going on.
Because the suit looks cool. It reminds me of Batman Beyond, but this is what's her name? Javicia Leslie.
Yes, I honestly keep forgetting her name.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I've never seen her before. But yeah, she seems comfortable. Like, I don't know if she's been doing a lot of shit. Someone said that she was on the show called God Friended Me. I've heard that
I've never
said
really
in podcasts
seen her
before. But yeah. Looking at this dude, like, I don't know if she has like a whole, how like Bruce Wayne has like, oh, I act like this, but then Batman act like that. But like, I don't know, the same character. She looks completely different here. I don't know if that's her.
Yeah, she does look different. But the thing is, it's like because they did it like Cassandra Cain, they're like, oh, I need to be, she doesn't really change. I keep calling her Cassandra Cain. I don't know why. I feel like that was her name, but they call her Kate. Anyway, whatever. With Kate Kane in the last season, she was very much like she didn't really differentiate or changed. But with this character, it's like she basically just found the suit on the ground because the plane explodes right beside the main character because it's like, well, of course, we have to. And then she finds the suit and goes, oh, I'm going to take the suit because I get to do cool shit with it. And it's like, well, what's her backstory? Well, her backstory is that she tried to get a fucking apartment for her and her mom, but then like a bunch of bullshit happened and her mom gets killed because of that. So she's trying to figure out who killed it. So she's like, oh, I'll take the fucking suit and I'll go beat the shit and murder the dude. So that's kind of her story. So you and me, like, you know what? I like this character's arc where it's like, it's always at the end of the day when you're dealing with superhero stuff, it's always going to be like, hey, it's a revenge. It starts off as revenge and then you have to grow to realize it's more than them. But I do like that it's like, yeah, we got to do a bunch of contrived bullshit to get this character into this universe, but she's able to fill the suit up. And I really like that because I want to see, it's like, hey, get somebody that can actually act. And I guess you came up with a reason for her to fight so we get to see cool fights. But I'm curious, like, what else are you going to do with the season? Because you have a chance to essentially restart.
Yeah, as I was saying, it sounds like a rush backstory, which I could definitely see that being the case too. But let me ask you this. Is there anything in here that you feel like can lead to the return of the original Batwoman?
I feel like it's weird because I feel like there's 2 ways I can go about this. Because one of the backstories for the Batwoman season 1 is that at one point her and her sister they're like dangling off a cliff or whatever, and like Batman saves the main character, but her sister falls and they think she dies, but turns out she survived and she's actually the crazy villain, which is they play each other off. But the fact that the main character is quote unquote dead, but the sister's still alive and freaking out doing crazy shit, I don't know how they're going to rectify that. The only thing I can think of is it's going to be the same missing person story, and either they never find the body and you're never quite sure, or they find the body and make it definitive. If they make it definitive, I don't see her coming back. But they're like, well, we never found the body. She could easily come back at the end of season 2 or whatever.
Jean's saying the way she found the suit, blah, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it
The
was
way
terrible.
Yeah, she'd be creeped out that she got a suit from a dead woman. Yeah, I think that's kind of a silly thing, but at the same time, we don't want people to really overreact because, like, I'll tell you this much, I always felt like, no, everyone should react, like, realistically, blah, blah, blah. But I stopped
Well, she does, actually. The plane explodes and everything falls to the ground and she tries to save a dude, but he dies, and she just vomits because she's like, fuck, I can't believe I didn't save a dude. And then finds the suit in the wreckage, and she's like, oh, what the fuck is this? Holy shit, this is Batwoman's suit. And then that's when she puts it on, and you eventually realize why she's doing it. But, like, he is right. It's literally the worst. It's literally like, oh, hey, you're the main character? Okay, here's the suit. Well, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know, man.
Well, the point what I was trying to make, though, was basically, like, 2018, this is when I stopped thinking the way I was thinking, and I'll reiterate just for people to have, like, a little bit of context. I was like, you know, for me, I like when people react realistically, even though that does count, Alan, realistically, her puking and blah, blah, blah. I feel like sometimes I want even more than that, and like some crying, some fucking craziness. But at the same time, though, 2018, I watched this movie Hereditary, the big fucking.
Oh yeah, that man. You ain't getting realer than that.
Yeah, Toni Collette, dude. That honestly, like, there's lots of stuff that scared me in that movie, but her like demeanor, like not even demeanor, just her fucking like wretched screaming, crying. No, I want to die. Like, dude,
kill me. Oh my god, dude, that movie is so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that part. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I cried. Like,
oh, that dude, when that happened, I was like, what the fuck? Because I'm like, why are you doing this? I get this is a horror movie, but you went too hard. But everyone's reactions felt very real. That's one of those things about that movie. It's very uncomfortable, but it makes sense. A fucking child died in a very horrible way.
And then she saw the headless fucking body too. And then like the son just walked upstairs. Like, oh my god, dude, it's so.
He's in shock, yo.
Yeah, that was such a horrible fucking scene. But honestly, dude, like as far as horror movies go, like that's one of the best scenes ever. But like now I know what it feels like to live vicariously through really good acting, and it's a shame that it took a fucking little small horror movie like that to really make me feel that way. Like, have you ever seen Sean Penn react to his daughter's death in Mystic River?
I've never seen Mystic River.
Okay, Mystic River is a huge movie that people like giving. You know, it got awards and all this crazy shit. I never seen the entire movie, but I've seen that scene isolated through everything else, and I didn't think I was gonna give a shit. But Sean Penn has such a fucking heart-wrenching reaction to his daughter dying, and then you go to like something like Rambo: Last Blood, where his daughter dies, and he's like, I'm gonna kill him. And it's like, oh wow, really? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. As far as like wretched like reveals and stuff like that, like I'll always go to Interstellar, where they get trapped like in a black hole. So like fucking 30 years passes by, so he has to watch his kids grow up. So like this shitty VHS shit, and Matthew McConaughey is crying his ass off because he just missed his his kids like growing up, and he can never get that back.
Oh man, yeah. See, so, like that shit's just fucking effective, and I do like it, but yeah.
And it does, and the CW can pull that off. And I think one of the biggest issues is like she's trying, and she does a pretty decent reaction. She does it more so like there's certain situations where she's explaining like, yo, why she's so like hellbent on this, and you start to see it's like this character has a lot of pain, and she's able to portray it really, really well. I wish they had better writers because some of the dialogue is so bad. But dude, I laughed my ass off because at one point, like this character has nothing. This character lost everything, and at one point during the fight, because she lives in her car, like literally is homeless because of all the crazy shit that's happening. And at one point, the dude like grabs the plant and smashes it. She goes, no! So he's beating the fuck out of him. I'm like, oh my god, okay, don't fuck with this woman's plants. Because I'm like, but you kind of almost feel for her because she has literally nothing but that plant. So the fact that he just smashed that, it's like, holy shit, she's losing everything.
It's like the Wilson rule from like Castaway. Like it's just like, you know, my ball. No, I love that fucking ball.
I mean, that makes you cry, man. I cried over a volleyball. What the fuck?
Wait, that affected you? They got you?
Of course it did, man.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Wilson. I'm sorry. That shit killed me, man. Fuck you if that didn't hurt.
Oh man, no, it did not, man. But
oh, you're a liar.
No, when I watched that, I was laughing. Here's the thing, though. That scene was isolated with me though, because I watched that, I was like, this movie's boring. I left. I went to go do something. Came back. Wilson. I'm like, oh shit, he lost. He made a friend and he lost him, and it's a bullet. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That's his only friend, man.
Oh man, it's a soccer ball, dog.
I know, but that's the point though. It's his only friend on the island that he thought he was gonna die, and he's living by himself for weeks or months or however long it was. And then they finally make it out, and he loses it. I was like, no, he lost the ball.
Fucking poor dogs. Oh, it's a volleyball. I'm sorry. Well, it had Wilson. Yeah. I remember having
that's the company that makes the volleyball, dude. It didn't have any. It only had the white stuff on. It didn't have the black spots like what soccer ball does.
Okay, my bad. No, but like I just remember, like I thought Wilson only did those, but I mean, once again, I don't know, fucking crazy. But the thing is though, is like looking at Batman, or oh my god, Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Dude, that's how fucking much I talk about Batman. That like sometimes, like by the way, guys, this is not the only time I fucked this up. I watched the review we did like a fucking 3 years ago. I'm talking about Marvel, and I still said Batman. And the person's name was nothing like Batman. And it's like, oh my god, like that's how often. But anyways, Batwoman season 2. The verdict on this first episode, dude. What would you rate this? And any last comments that you feel like you should add in here?
6.5 out of 10. I think this was fantastic. I think that it shows that the rest of the cast is really picking this up because almost everybody is giving a real visceral reaction. I like the main character. I just wish the writing was better, but she's a great actress. So I'm like, what are you gonna do with this character? Because you have about 2 episodes of this arc before you establish her. Because right now they establish enough of the episode where the characters that are dealing with the old Batwoman kind of like her as the new one. So you can tell where it's like, okay, they're gonna slowly grow. There's about 2 or 3 more episodes before she's solidified. I'm curious to see like how are they going to pull it off. And after they solidify, like they're going to solidify her. Like there's no like, oh, is she going to be the Batwoman? Of course she is. Like that's how these stories work. I want to know what happens afterwards. What are you going to do? Because like I don't know what the fuck is going on in the background. I have no idea if the past storylines, because like they managed to use the past storylines as a way to establish that this bullshit happened. But I don't know if they're going to continue that because this was clearly written for a different character. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and we're going to stick on the comic book aspect of the stuff really quick, too. This is going to be a very, very short discussion because I don't know anything to add here. I just thought it was interesting because I like to go around look at box office stuff every now and then, especially considering like our big year coming up now.
Nick, I hate to break kayfabe. Do you mind if I just grab some water? You can start. I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah, get some water. Yeah, do whatever you want. But I'm going to bring this up to you guys because here's the thing. I want to explain this because we're going to base this. We're going to go back to this to base future topics on other shows. But I like going back and looking at like, 5-year increment anniversary releases. So like I'll look at like, let's put it to like what 2021 is right now. I like to go back and look at 2016, 2011, 2006, 2001, 1996, etc. And I look at movies that might be 25 years old, 20 years old, etc. So we can review them and see if they still hold up, because that's the biggest thing, man. People like to talk about stuff and say, oh my god, this movie's amazing, best thing I ever saw, blah, blah, blah. But it's only been something that came out like a year ago, whatever. And it's like, okay, the big test of time is look at this in the fucking decade. So because of that, I went back and looked at 2011, and in Martin Luther King weekend, man, January, we got fucking Green Hornet over here. I mean, granted, we have Dilemma and lots of other stuff too, but it debuted. This is week 1. It debuted, Green Hornet, at $40 million gross. Not entirely sure if that's amazing for back then or not. I didn't know a whole lot about this kind of stuff. I still don't. I'm not a big box office geek. But the thing is, though, man, is I'm looking at Green Hornet, and I remember there was lots of talk about this back in the day. I was a big Spill fan. I was listening to Spill all the time, and it was constantly brought up. And then as well as, like, so many other movies that were brought up around this time, too. For some reason, Green Hornet always stayed the main topic, and I don't know if it was because of comic books were still new, because keep in mind, this is 30 years after Iron Man, 30 years after Dark Knight. So I'm kind of like, Green Hornet, does it stand the test of time? And as well as people who hate this movie, does this completely ruin you thinking that comedians can jump outside of their lane of what they typically do to do something serious? Because Seth Rogen did this.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Seth Rogen. I can't remember who the sidekick was, but I actually didn't hate it. I mean, I know people didn't like it, but I think that's just Seth Rogen doing Seth Rogen stuff as opposed to being anything more than what it was. Because you watch it and it's like, it's not bad. The only reason is because Seth Rogen is such a, I don't want to say a terrible actor, but I don't think he was able, because he wanted to be a comedian, but the thing is, it's too stupid for the dark nature that it also goes for. So it was very just a mixed bag where I'm like, I liked it. It has Christoph Waltz in it. It's like one of the first times I ever saw him. So I loved him immediately. But I just don't think that it nailed audiences because it didn't get the right tone it wanted to go for. The tone was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and it just looks like, I don't know why I feel this way, but I think like 2009 and 2016 was a very awkward time for film. Like, all the CG movies look really, really bad, and they don't look bad the way the 80s and 90s movies look. They look bad like, wow, is this a TV show I'm watching? Like, it's hard to explain because I don't hate it. It's just you can smell the 2010s when you watch those movies that come out then. But do you think that do you have a better way to put it than I do? Because I'm kind of stupid.
It's what it is they just didn't understand how they want to make action movie. Like, you gotta understand, is every decade action movies kind of change how they film and how they're made. With this one, it was a weird in between where nobody really knew how to make this is a very hard R. Like, this is like very rated R because people are getting like cut in half and shit. But it's one of those things where it's like they didn't really know how to make action movies because the action is right. They didn't really know how to make superhero movies because this movie spends a majority of him building his like outfits and weapons and his myth and lore and stuff like that. But they didn't really understand how to make those movies either. So it's like this was one of those situations where this was like the dawn of superhero stuff. So instead of people figuring it out, everyone just kind of did their own shit. I'm sure there's a bunch of movies that came out around that time that were just as bad, if not even worse. That's why I'm like, I'm sad it never went anywhere. This would have been a great television show.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, when I'm
Perfect
looking
TV
at it,
show.
like I don't know if I'm looking at it in a bad way when I say like, oh, this should have been a TV show. But dude, like when you said it right now, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, this should have been a fucking TV show. And I think that if Seth Rogen was still attached to it, whether it's writing or whatever, I think it still would have been kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like this can be touched upon again sometime in the future? Because we're doing lots
Oh,
of remakes and
100%.
shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if CW took this up. Like, I don't know if it's DC or if it's Image. I can't remember who
I think it's
actually owns.
Image.
Is it Image? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if it's somebody else, then I'm sorry, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a Netflix special. Like, I don't expect this to be like a super high budget, but like what the character does and what the character is known for, and based on the original stuff, you could easily then recast it and do some cool stuff on television. This would be a perfect TV show because you can spend episodes building the suits and building the lore. Because this spends the majority of the movie, and that's why I like it. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to superhero stuff, I love when they build the suit. I love them going through the effort of making a suit. That's why one of the reasons I hate MCU Spider-Man. Because it's like, I'm not going to spend months building the suit intricacy within my budget. No, Daddy, can you buy me a suit? Okay, here's the many suits you want. It's like, really? Come on. Like, Batman builds his own suits. Like,
Black Knight, dude, you might want to hit up Screw Attack for that shit. A death battle, have them fucking do that. Green Hornet versus Batman.
oh, dude, really, man? Fucking Green Hornet can barely do a goddamn thing. His goddamn ass.
Well, what if he turns on some of the bat suit fucking accessories? Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
Sure, what if I just decided to fight Nick with none of my arms?
well,
And
no,
I
but
just
look at
fight
Batman and
Keith?
Superman. Like, didn't he do that to him? He's like, I'm gonna hit you with kryptonite. It's like, hold on, now you're playing with my rules, motherfucker. Like, what can you do with your Gotham shit? Don't start stealing from.
Oh,
fucking
yeah, well,
Krypton.
that's the thing. You have to do that because Batman can't win.
I know.
It's
but
literally
they
the only way to beat Superman. Like,
should have found
fuck-
something. Bruce Wayne
They-
is a smart motherfucker. Why can't him or that fucking the asshole?
Well, actually, the thing is, and Batman says it himself. He's like, if I don't have kryptonite, he can beat me. The only reason I can beat Superman is because he's good and I'm not.
Okay, let me ask you this: as a comic fan, and Chad, I want you guys, please, Chad, not just.
Oh
for the
man,
analytics, I want you guys-
we're talking weaknesses of Superman. Okay, here we go. This is from a scientific background. The fact that Superman can absorb light means that radiation also affects him, which means you don't just need kryptonite, you just need any form of radiation. Because
That's what
in the
I'm wondering.
comics, atomic bombs actually weaken him as well, because of the fact that it's not necessarily a different kind of energy, but it's absorbing and it's a decaying energy, which means that you lose energy as a result of it existing. So if you're absorbing the energy from an atomic bomb, it actually decays whatever it interacts with. So short of, you'd have to detonate a nuke in order to actually weaken him. And that actually does affect him because they did that in The Dark Knight Returns, where a nuke goes off and Superman absorbs it because he can absorb radiation, but it severely weakens him. That's one of the reasons that Batman's able to actually fight him.
But see, my biggest thing too is like, what if? Okay, like those are one things. Yeah, like I totally agree with you on that. I feel like that makes perfect sense. That was my question actually, because I was thinking of like Godzilla rules, but like more so than that too. I'm thinking like, what if they made like an Earth version of Krypton? Like, what if like Bruce Wayne or some fucking maybe Lex Luthor, because he has so much money. What if they found a way to just create this other thing that basically is Krypton, but they named it something else? Would that be like blasphemous for the Superman fucking like ideology and like history or whatever? Like, would that be
I
something?
mean,
you
they
get mad
made kryptonite on Earth. They've actually legitimately, like,
They
they've
still
actually
call it Krypton though, because they steal it from space, right? And then like they kind of clone it or something.
So, okay, what's happening is kryptonite originally was radioactive pieces of Clark's homeworld. And it was basically kind of a, your homeworld's killing you type shit. Like, it was kind of supposed to be like a dark kind of twist on the character because they had to invent a weakness for him. So they're like, well, you know what? We'll do this kind of radiation stuff and we'll kind of tie it to his background of like, hey, your home is killing you. But then eventually Batman and Lex Luthor, you brought this up, they were able to break down what kryptonite was, and that's when you get the different versions of it. Where green kryptonite slowly weakens them and can be used to kill him. But then you have red kryptonite that makes him into an asshole. So if you give him red kryptonite, you go, I'm the shit. Yeah, I'm the shit. I'm gonna go and rob a bank. I'm gonna go and fuck this dude's girl. Like, he will be an asshole. But then you
I
have
want
other-
that. Please, someone give me a red Kryptonite movie.
Smallville goes into this really, really well, but then you have other. Basically, every single shade of the rainbow has a different kryptonite associated with it, and you get different stuff as a result. Like, I think blue kryptonite just kind of zaps some of his powers, so he just becomes a normal person. So it's like every single one of them is dangerous, but just one. There's different versions of it, you know.
Okay, yeah. Zoneblade JP saying it's been done before. Okay, well, I get you. I just want more like a live action thing, but I totally get what you're saying. Bad Boy saying the last time
Agreed.
someone tried to make Kryptonite Superman 3 happen. Yes! and that was
Okay, but
bad.
Kryptonite again. Smallville also had like 10 seasons, and they went through almost every color of Kryptonite, except for pink.
But yeah, man, we're gonna continue pedaling along in this particular line of conversation because we're gonna end up with some more comic book shit. And I'm sorry if I piss people off, but I'm so glad to see this shit. Wonder Woman 1984 is only available for HBO Max until the end of this week. Now, here's the thing, Alan, correct me if I'm fucking wrong, but I could have sworn that this shit was gonna be available until 2022 because they want people to be able to watch the movies until the theaters are open again and everything's back to normal.
I have actually no idea why they're doing this. I assumed that once it went on streaming service, they would keep it there. My guess is they want to. The only thing I can think of is they want to keep the demand up. So now that it's in theaters, it's basically how long do movies stay in theaters normally? They stay in for about 2-3 months, and then they go out of theaters, and then the DVD release happens. My guess is that they're basically just doing that with digital. They're like, hey, we put this in theaters, we put this on home. We're gonna let it out, and then eventually, in about a month or two, you get the 4K HD Blu-ray edition.
Yeah, I guess so. And by the way, like with all the deleted scenes they could probably put in there, I think that Blu-ray sales might go up a lot this year. But I don't know, man. Like for me, okay, so here's what I think. And Chad, look, I know you guys are gonna get mad at me because I'm talking shit, whatever the fuck. And granted, that could be wrong because this is all just opinion, and I don't even know this industry all that well. But I'm going to assume that they're like, dude, with all the bad reviews. And by the way, like, I feel that bad reviews come out more often for indie shit because they didn't have to pay $1 to even do it. So like they have no obligatory or financial obligatoriness to be like, oh, we have to say this movie's good because we spent money on this. No one spent money on this, so they're very, very open to call out for what the fuck it is, which is garbage. Because yeah, like you're not gonna look stupid if you talk shit about it. You know what I mean? And I think that like there's a piece of that where HBO Max is like, man, all these fucking bad reviews, plus no one really gives a shit because it was free anyways. Let's just get rid of it. It's just a fucking stain on our goddamn library.
I doubt it because I really feel the Wonder Woman's performance is what actually allowed them to do the whole releasing everything, because we saw that hypercut of everything going out. They're probably like, well, hey, the bad reviews. I mean, people are basically not upticking as much as they were the first few months. So we're gonna get the other shit. So this situation, I think it's like they would have kept it longer if this was like a Soul where people just keep watching it over and over again. They can see the numbers. They can see how many people watch it. They probably like, well, because of the reviews, like, well, people aren't watching it anymore. We're gonna do the Blu-ray DVD at some point. So let's just kind of get it out now and basically increase demand. Like, hey, you only got a week to watch this. We'll get a couple more views, and then in a month or so they'll do the actual release. But I think it's a situation where if this was being watched as much as other stuff was, they would have kept it. But they're like, yeah, people aren't watching this. They're like, oh, the space is low bad. It's like, no, people aren't watching it. Okay, let's just get more money when we do the Blu-ray sales.
WinFox20, thank you for helping me out there too. I know like there's a kind of a lag and delay or whatever, so maybe sometimes we answer stuff before you are. But yeah,
you guys saying it was video limited. That makes sense.
Yeah. Zella saying now they changed the stream and end date 2 weeks before it was released. Okay. Platinum Wave saying yes, it turns Kryptonian homosexual. Oh, no.
Wow, you do not read, man. Oh, swear to God. That was a reference to the original stuff because there is different colors of kryptonite. So this is just the various different kryptonites. One of the kryptonites, the pink makes him gay. I thought that was a joke, so I didn't bring it up.
No. I mean, because you're saying like, oh, you can't read. No, I was about to go back up because I think as they said about the pink one, because everyone's like, oh, the blue one does this and the red one does this, blah blah blah. Yeah. No, the pink one, yeah, like that would be fucking hilarious if they did. They wouldn't get away with it now. But I gotta tell you, dude, what the fuck did we say that got us from Green Hornet to Superman Krypton? Like, I've noticed that like half of their conversation. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, we're talking about if Green Hornet fought Batman.
No, because we talked about we're talking Green Hornet fought Batman, then Batman fought Superman, then we got the kryptonite.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, how did we get there?
But really quick though on that, and I don't mind going over the place, especially if we're still talking about comic books. But as far as I was gonna say Cornet bucks, I'm fucking dumb. But Green Hornet though, on that. Do you feel like, because like the big thing I want to discuss about this in general, and I mean like we get so far lost in our conversations, I forget like what I was actually aiming towards to even discuss. But the big thing that kind of came to my mind here is that it came out 10 years ago, and Seth Rogen did this, and if you notice after this he kind of went back to doing comedy and blah blah blah. He didn't really do a whole lot of other shit that was kind of like this. I'm gonna ask you really quick: do you feel like when comedians do something that's outside of the realm of comedy? Or let's just not even say comedy. Let's say like a horror guy does something else or action does something else. If they like slightly fuck up, do you feel like no, that's why you guys stay in your lane? Do you think that like these people should stay in their lane of genres versus going off the the path that they've chosen.
I 100% disagree with that. I think the idea of staying in your lane is the laziest thing you can tell somebody. Sorry, you're only good at this one thing. I don't ever want to see you try. So just keep doing that. I'm like, no. If you think that you can do something serious, go ahead. I was excited for Fargo season 4 because Chris Rock was in it. I didn't particularly like him, and I really got to finish that season off. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this didn't work for you. Maybe something else will. Because at the end of the day, I hate people being typecast. I hate people being so successful that there's this thing called too successful. There's failure where it's like, hey, you just can't get off the ground. But then there's too successful where nobody ever wants to see something different. Check out the Game of Thrones writer. I keep forgetting his fucking George R. R. Martin. And same thing with Matt Groening for Simpsons. They're so popular within this one fucking thing that anytime they try to do something different, everyone's like, well, stay in your lane if it's not perfect. I'm like, no, yeah, Seth Rogen, you fucked up. But I wouldn't mind seeing Green Hornet too. I mean, you produce television shows, make it a TV show on AMC. They already do half your shit anyway. I wouldn't mind seeing this again. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if you're able to make something good, I don't care if it's not your normal thing, as long as it's good.
I totally see your point because I was going to agree with you by going back to looking at 2018's Halloween, the remake, because Danny McBride did the writing for this, alongside somebody else that you don't like. But the thing is, though, is oh
my god, I fucking hate that. David S. Goyer is a hack.
I'm pretty sure it was him, or maybe it was. It could have been somebody else.
I'll look into it. You keep talking.
Yeah, but like looking at this though, man, I gotta tell you, like, Danny McBride did a really good job here, and you can see certain parts where there's comedy in here that's definitely David Gordon Green. That's what Ryan's talking about. So
never mind. Yeah. Not David S. Goyer, motherfucker. I mean, I'll call out David S. Goyer any goddamn day of the week.
But David Letterman. But no, like Danny McBride, I think did a good job, writing, even though he did, some writing, he didn't do a whole lot here. But this was right after he did Alien Covenant, where he was actually the actor that was in there. And I was like, it's kind of weird that you felt obligated to keep doing horror, which is fine because you do like horror, and I totally get that, and I appreciate it. But then, and this is where I'm going to bring an example of that not working out so well, alongside the Seth Rogen example.
Wait, you already did. It was Covenant. That was fucking terrible.
No, but this right here, man, Get Out. Jordan Peele fucking whooped ass with this.
Really? Nah, man. If you want to bring up, you could have brought up another Seth Green thing, which is Order and what was that one where he's a security guy? It's like Paul Blart, but serious.
Oh yeah. Observe and Report.
Observe and Report, yeah. You can't really use Get Out because as much as you were a big fan of Get Out, that projected him to where Jordan Peele is now. Most people ended up liking it. They like to take on the horror. That allowed him to make Us, and now he's basically being in everything ever.
No, but
so
that's
like,
my
that
point.
is a bad
like, now they're whoring out his name like they did with James Cameron and shit. Like, that's the thing that I'm kind of getting at here, where I'm like, Jordan Peele is no longer the guy who's like the funny comedian, all in his lonesome. He could probably do a stand-up show and fucking kill whatever. Now he's like, dude, like I was watching Eli Roth History of Horror on AMC, and like they're literally calling Jordan Peele a horror icon. It's like, dude, he did one fucking movie, or well, two, because Us. But like, come on, dude.
Okay, do you know who James Wan is?
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
So James Wan started off as horror, and one of the things that he said is that the reason he went and started doing bigger budget stuff is because he didn't want to be the horror guy. Because he's like, well, as soon as you make a good horror movie, suddenly you're the horror guy, and he's like, I don't want to be typecast. So he went out and did Aquaman and like a James and Fast and Furious movie because he's like, I'll do horror stuff, but I also want to do whatever the fuck I want. So it's like that's a perfect example of he went out of his lane because this is the guy that I don't know if it was him that did the Saw movies or at least he like helped make them happen. But he's done a lot of horror stuff. But then when it did big budget stuff, Aquaman and Fast 7 are my favorite like fucking movies in their respective genres. So it's like he was able to step out of that and do something well because he's like, hey, I get what happens with horror. Is you make something good, you become typecast, and that's what happened with Jordan Peele. He made a few good horror movies, and suddenly he's the horror guy because nobody else is that consistent.
And I really do hate that they have hoarded his name because, like, look at that movie Annabelle. They're like, producers of Get Out and Us. Thank you, Jordan Peele. We'll take the check in the mail. Like, fucking Jesus Christ! Like, and then they did that with Candyman because that's not even made by him. It's made by.
Well, they did that with Hunters too, and I'm like, yo, this is garbage. His name means nothing to me now.
Yeah, but see, like how that's a bad thing because like Jordan Peele's a great guy and like he's a fucking awesome writer and he's really smart, and yet like he's being lessened through this shit. And the same thing happened with Steven Spielberg and James Cameron. James Cameron did fucking The Terminator, bro, and Terminator 2, and fucking Aliens, and fucking. Well, I don't like The Abyss, but
James Cameron's name hasn't been dragged through the dirt. Like because the thing when he's done a lot of movies. That's why I'm Peele right now. He's only done 2 movies. Everything else has been a producer role. So if you tell me he's a great director, I mean, I don't fucking. I've literally never seen a Jordan Peele movie. Like mostly because I just didn't watch Get Out at the time, and I can't sit through Us, or I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown.
Wait, you really don't like Us?
Dude, that's my nightmare.
What, to see
Doppelgangers.
another Alan?
Yeah, that's just fucking terrifying. Trust me, y'all should be scared of that shit too. But that's literally my nightmare. Where I was like, oh, good, a movie I'm never gonna watch because I want to sleep at night.
And here's the thing, like I didn't get to watch Twilight Zone. I'm gonna fucking watch that by next week and review on the show. I really
I
want to
heard
touch on
mixed
that.
things about it.
Me too.
Nothing with Jordan Peele.
Yeah, me too. I hit the wrong thing there. I got my YouTube channel all set up. No, but like, yeah, I don't know how much he had to do with the making of this, but they used the fuck out of his name on this thing, like as if you think that he wrote and directed the entire fucking thing. It was crazy.
More of an M. Night Shyamalan thing if you want to actually describe like his career trajectory, because M. Night Shyamalan made a few interesting thrillers, and everyone's like, he's the greatest, he's the smartest, he is the best. We're gonna make him do everything, and he's like, you know what? I'm right. I am the best. And then he started making The Village and The Happening. You're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Lady in the Water. Remember that fucking horse shit?
Oh, that was that's where it started. Because Lady in the Water, and then I was like, well, that was fucking stupid. Then he made The Happening, and I'm like, look, I've watched The Happening 7 times. That movie's fucking hilarious. That is a terrible movie, like from start to finish.
And we were talking about this, people's names being dragged by the mud by their own success. Dude, not a better example than Stephen King. Holy fuck, dude. Like,
I don't think
anytime
that guy's ever had a single good adaptation outside of like It.
There's been a couple good adaptations, but here's my thing though: is like they'll even do things where like it has nothing to do with Stephen King, but they'll have like executive producer or Stephen King said this was good. It's like he also said that you should give him another line of coke. Like
He also doesn't like the Stanley Kubrick Shining, and then went and either directed or went and worked with somebody else to make a quote unquote more authentic adaptation of his book, and it was like the worst movie ever.
Over here, Ryan says, thank you for the bits, by the way. He says, random fun fact, the same year Shyamalan directed The Sixth Sense, he worked on a script to Stuart Little.
Wait, what?
That's really surprising.
Fuck, he couldn't have, man. That's like telling me Christopher Nolan directed like the fucking Teen Titans Go movie. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I actually gotta look this up really quick. Thank you for that little bit of information there, buddy. Let me see.
He also did apparently a movie you like, Maximum Overdrive. By the way, I did watch a Stephen King adaptation recently, 11/22/63, which is like, hey, we're gonna. He finds this random time machine in a closet and then goes back in time to stop the murder of JFK. That fucking thing has a terrible ending. Stephen King's endings are the worst.
But Captain Laser, dude, yeah, Maximum Overdrive was fucking great. I love that. Kukua 13. Follow, by the way, if you get a chance, man, because I want you to actually show up to the other pre-shows that we do, and you can come in the chat and shoot the shit with us. You can see that we're very interactive. And thank you for the follow, Blasian Michael. Really appreciate it, dude.
Wait, who's Noah Baumbach? I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. He said he wrote Madagascar 3, which apparently people liked.
Oh, yeah. No, I heard Madagascar was kind of like a hit and miss fucking thing for me. But Kukua says, Juan also did that to gain clout to make what he wants. Get Out, transcended horror, so he doesn't need to do a blockbuster. That makes sense. What you call it, Blasian? You all well earned to follow. Thank you very much, sir. Director of Marriage Story.
Oh, the director of Marriage Story wrote. I mean, yeah, I guess okay. That's not too crazy. It's not like you're telling me again Christopher Nolan directing a fucking comedy.
I gotta be honest,
Jesus.
Marriage Story can be considered a horror movie, man.
Well, that's what I mean, but like it compares, yeah, to a certain degree, I guess it depends. If you're poor and miserable in your marriage, it's a horror movie.
Oh, and if you're male and you're getting married or you're getting divorced in LA, yeah, you're fucked. I'm sorry, I know it's not a cool thing to say. Like,
LA.
kind of hard.
Just in general, fuck LA.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're like I will say though, I don't think that they're worse than Florida. Florida, like I heard Louis C.K. do a bit on this most recent fucking thing like last year, where he talks about how Florida, not just as the people that are there, but just the way it looks geographically. It looks like a turd coming out of somebody's ass and it's about to break off. You know what I mean? Like he only needs a little bit of wind.
I mean, I didn't think about it now, but I guess so.
I fucking hate Florida so much. Hopefully none of you guys are actually in Florida, because that was a mean thing I just said, but it's all good. Windfox saying Shawshank is definitely a great classic. I have not seen that yet, dude.
I've still never seen it. I know enough about it, but I'm sure it's like I know enough about it, but not enough to like, well, I never can watch it now. It's not like Sixth Sense where I can't watch it anymore. Because that whole movie is based on this fucking twist. But like Shawshank, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff with that. It's one of the times where Stephen King will again talk about people leaving their comfort zone. He's like, I'm not gonna do this weird fucking occult horror. I'm just gonna do a regular fucking story.
Yeah, man, and this actually came out. Let me see, 1994, September. Dude, honestly, like, it doesn't really fit into any of our like, anniversary, whatever the fucks that we do. But like, I want to review this one of these days, man. I would actually love to.
There's a lot of movies I just never watched. Like I've never seen the original thing.
Yeah. Oh wait, the thing from Another World or the thing from
John Carpenter.
Oh my god, you gotta watch that movie.
I've never seen it. I know enough about it, but it's one of those things where it's like just because I know enough doesn't mean I never want to watch it. It's just I just never got around to watching it.
You might saying, "Hey, do you guys remember the Twilight Zone movie tragedy?" Yes, I do, and I remember. So basically, lots of people are getting hurt. This is actually part of this thing. It's on Shudder. It's called the Curse or Five Cursed Films. Where the fuck it's called? But just like with Exorcist, The Omen, and some other ones, there was people like literally dying that were connected to the movie. And I forgot the particulars or particularities of the Twilight Zone movie, but yeah, that's one of the big ones. Like people were getting electrocuted, shit. It was fucking crazy. Joe Halcyon, what's up, man? No, Chirinos, hey, how you doing? Hopefully you can subscribe and actually shoot the shit with us. Moving on and on from because we do pre-shows literally every single day. So yeah, hopefully you stick around, dude. Poltergeist is another one, dude. In Poltergeist, have you seen that movie by the way?
No, again, there's a lot of movies I never watched.
I'll give you this because it's not going to ruin anything, but there's a part where basically they're like in this big pool of muddy, like a mud pool, and there's dead bodies there, and you're thinking like, oh well, that's dead bodies. Who gives a shit? In order for them to save money on like making the fake dead bodies, they put real dead bodies there.
Oh, really, man? That's so fucking weird.
And literally, people got killed, and there was like curses and like all this crazy shit. And they actually had a person that went there to explain to him, like, "Yo, this is the danger that you guys are getting involved with having these fucking dead bodies here because they're from like a certain tribe or a certain area, whatever."
Oh, really? I know Family Guy made like jokes about that shit, but I didn't think it was actually real.
Yeah, dude. Like, and here's the thing about that Cursed Films thing is that the reason why they have that show on Shudder, I really recommend to any of you guys in the chat to watch Cursed Films. But they every single episode they kind of ended off saying like, no, it's just bad luck, it's just coincidences, there is no such thing as curses. So it's kind of funny. It's called Cursed Films when literally every episode they find like
but they're like it's less of like these are actually because guys, ghosts aren't real, curses aren't real. If you want to know if ghosts are real or not, I literally challenged ghosts to a fight 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he came back and had a red nose, but it was probably for something else.
And black eye and everything, man. But I won. No point.
But yeah, man, I like these questions. Though people are probably like, man, it's like the Sammy.
The bring up Stephen King adaptations. I'm sorry. There's like the Dome is terrible. I just watched 11/22/63. The ending sucks. I want to watch The Stand, but I remember my history teacher going on a rant about how bad that miniseries was back in the day. So I almost never want to watch it. What else fucking going on? Like again, Chapter 2 was not that good. It was okay, but it wasn't that good. I hate the ending of The Mist. That movie is fucking terrible.
Okay,
sorry, that movie's fantastic. No, the movie's great, but the ending is terrible.
You got backwards, sir. That ending is
that
great.
movie is like it's a bottle film, and they're trapped in like a fucking grocery store, and they don't know what's going on, and it's like fucking terrifying because every single time someone comes out, they get murdered bloody. So it's like what's going on? And it's like every time someone ventures out, it's like monsters everywhere. It's fucking terrifying. And then the ending is like we're gonna just drive off. There has to be something, right? Well, I guess we're all gonna die. I only got 4 bullets, but there's 5 of us in a car. Shoots everyone, including his son. And he's like, well, I guess I'll go die. Nah, 2 seconds later, that's all fine. Happy New Year. Dude, Merry Christmas. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, no, Zella in the chat was saying the same thing. By the way, too, I love Bad Boy. Dude, everybody from The Walking Dead Season 1 literally met on that fucking movie. So if it wasn't for The Mist, maybe we wouldn't have the casting we have for The Walking Dead.
I mean, honestly, consider the fact that half of them suck good. I don't give a goddamn shit.
Misery is fucking amazing, by the way. I love Misery. That's a great show. And by the way... Huh?
The endings suck.
Honestly...
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it kind of does, but it's like I said. I mean, like I think it sucks because I as a fan wanted more stuff, but like granted, like it makes sense for what it is. But I do dig this movie a lot. And by the way, I forgot her name now. We always make fun of Ganja saying he looks just like her. Kathy Bates, what's her name?
Yeah, Kathy Bates.
Okay. She is also in this other movie called Dolores Claiborne. Woo, that's a good movie too. It's a great movie. It's about all the abuse she had to go through with her husband and everything. I really recommend watching that movie. This was a great 90s was a great decade for Kathy Bates, big time. Ryan Conja Bates, he does bait a lot.
When it comes to Stephen King stuff, I feel like he has good setups, but he just never nails the ending because it's like that whole like it's a writing thing of like I have this incredible middle. Like me and Nick are writers, so I don't know if he's gonna be great at this, but when it comes to creating a story, you always have this great middle. You're like, I have this random scene in my head of 2 people in like a bar, but it's like super important. So in order to get there, you're like, well, I got to create like the beforehand. It's like, how'd they get there? Car. Why does he have a car? Well, because he has his job. How did he get that job? You create that whole thing, and then you get the start. You're like, cool. Now I get them to the bar. That's so awesome. Well, it leads to this. But then how does the story end? And endings for me have always been the hardest part where I'm like, how the fuck do I end this? And Stephen King, that's a criticism. Not just me just came up with it. That's been a criticism his entire career is he does not know how to make an ending.
Looking over here too, by the way. Thank you for the bits, E-Mike, and thank you for actually pulling this up for me. But 1982, Morrow was cast in a feature role in Twilight Zone the movie, and is saving directed by John Landis. Morrow was playing the role of Bill Connor, a racist who is taken back in time and placed in various situations where he'll be a persecuted victim as a Jewish man in Vichy, France, a black man about to be lynched by the Ku Klux Klan, and a Vietnamese man is about to be killed by U.S. soldiers. But and I'm not going to read all this shit, but apparently he did get his head decapitated by a helicopter, like for real.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so Cursed Films does touch on that, and thank you so much, E-Mike, for bringing that up to my attention, too. There's so many stories from that, because lots of these end up in decapitations. Like, for instance, for The Omen, there's a part where basically, not part, I mean, there's a story where an actor and his girlfriend were on the road on Route 66, or Route 666. It was some weird shit. But they're driving, and for some reason, their heads got chopped off, and they looked around the area, they're like, dude, we don't know what chopped your head off. There's no signs here. There's no blades. There's no nothing that would have done this, but yet it happened. So it is what it is. Corey's calling me, though. I want you to talk with the chat. I'll be right back, people.
Yeah, no, that's weird. Every one of y'all is bringing up this new, like, fucking Stephen King thing. Like, Stephen King at this point has to be one of those prolific writers in history, because I swear to God, that dude, every single thing he writes becomes a fucking adaptation. Which, hey, good for him. He doesn't get typecast. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I swear to fucking God, he has like a 1-to-9 ratio of his adaptations are going to be good. He is not as worse as who's the guy that did V for Vendetta and Watchmen and all that stuff. Alan Moore. Alan Moore probably has the worst track record, because I don't think there's a single, except for Watchmen, a TV show, there's not a single good adaptation of an Alan Moore fucking comic, because they always miss the fucking point entirely, except for Watchmen, a television show. But when it comes to Stephen King,
well, he's actually responsible for Swamp Thing too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing. Okay, Swamp Thing TV show is pretty good, but he has one of the worst track record, because V for Vendetta, Watchmen the movie, the Killing Joke, like these are monumental comics in history, and they have terrible adaptations.
Yeah. By the way, guys, just so you know, Corey's gonna be starting in about 2 minutes, or whatever. But we're gonna keep kind of going around talking and shooting the shit. By the way, some people in the chat that haven't said hi to: Zealot, Bad Boy, Kirk, Yasuba Fan.
Hey, Kirk is totally wrong. We don't have to fucking talk to him.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. V for Vendetta. Wayne Fox is saying it's a great
V for
movie.
Vendetta fucking sucks.
No, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I can't. I like the design of the guy from V for Vendetta, like the main character or whatever. Like, I think that's badass. He looks awesome. But like, I don't know.
It's just going for V for Vendetta. So TY is asking. I think one of the biggest problems is it doesn't actually understand the source material, where it doesn't enough changes. Where it's like it's supposed to be this idea of like trying to showcase to you that authoritarian government is eventually going to crumble upon itself, and then eventually the people will rise up and take it. But the problem is the movie focuses on one dude instead of the idea that the people will do it. So and they talk about that in the movie, but it's like it's so fucking, it misses the point entirely to just be this action movie. It's all it wants to do is like, well, we're just gonna make it this weird fucking Matrix type action movie, but it misses the point that it's supposed to be the people, and it's boring as fuck. Let's be real here. This movie is dreadfully dull for a majority of it, that it literally got banned me from movie night, where I wasn't allowed to make movies for like a solid 6 months because of how bad that.
And here's the thing, like Koki Fiji, by the way, for you, Koki, and Slacker, and thank you 95. If you guys do not mind, make sure to give us a follow, just so next time we do a pre-show, you guys are here before Corey starts a show, and you guys can shoot the shit with us, because I love the questions, and I really like that you guys are able to come in here and be like, hey, we disagree, y'all motherfuckers are wrong, because sometimes we are wrong. But I will say that
TY's asking before we leave, it should be a TV show. Yeah, it should have been a TV show. They could have easily made that. Like, again, Watchmen pulled it off. They did 8 episodes. It was fantastic.
Yeah, but for me, to mirror somewhat of what Alan was saying, because for me, I don't know the source material, so like for me, I don't know what they were going for, but I know that when they do like little Matrixisms and like slow-mo, like I'm so fucking great that I can like slow down time, get behind you with my knife, fat, you know, slice you over here, do all this, and I'm just like, all right, dude, like you're already cool. You know, and you're like really trying to do like what all the other movies do obligatorily to be cool, and you don't need that. V for Vendetta did not need that. If they already have a good story, especially with the political stuff and whatever, if they already have that stuff going for it, you don't have to want to be like something else. And I feel like it was
the stories at the time. That was the biggest problem with every single movie was like that. Matrix. There are 100 different Matrix movies because they're like, well, the Matrix was monumental, so let's just copy it because that's how trends are.
And sorry if you already responded to this. I'm all over the place mentally, but like Storm of the Century, did you watch this?
I've never watched it. I heard about it back in the day, but it was like, hey, Twister and all these other movies are like disaster weather movies, so Storm of the Century.
Well, speaking of old school 90s movies, too, Mauricio asked us in the chat, too. See, I read everything, people. I want to make sure to be as interactive as we possibly can.
Yeah, Jet whispers in his ear.
Shut up. Look at over here, dude. Thinner. This movie fucked me up when I was a kid, bro. So I don't know if you know about this, Alan, but basically this guy has a weight problem. And, you know, he's basically driving in the car or whatever. He doesn't have a huge weight problem. It's just like,
Well, he seems to be a little bit on the chunky side, and it's the 90s, so yeah, he has a weight problem in the movie, okay.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You really hit the nail on the head there. But I don't know. I forget if he, like, ran over somebody or, like, he was accidentally, like, being disrespectful, whatever. But basically, you know, he did it to the wrong person. It was a gypsy woman or somebody who actually has these, like, voodoo powers. And they cursed him with getting thinner because that's, you know, he wants to be thin. But it's almost like one of those, like, precautionary tales of, like, be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for, yeah.
And he gets so fucking skinny that he's literally dying. And, like, the more he eats, the more he loses weight. But the hungrier he is. It's like, it's fucking crazy. Corey's thing's messing up again. I'm going to call Corey. I'll be right back.
You call me. Throw down something. I don't know what the fuck thinner is. I'll talk to the chat. What the fuck's going on? Well, actually, now that I have y'all, so I've been playing Mass Effect 2. I don't know if anyone in the chat has ever felt this way, but have you ever played a game back in the day and just because of the time, you just never gave it a chance? You're like, whatever. Like, no. This isn't what I wanted, and you just completely ignore it. Because that's how I was with Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect was one of my favorite games of all time, but I never really gave Mass Effect 2 a chance. But now I'm replaying it, and I feel like I'm falling in love with this game for the first time. Even though I've beaten it like 5-6 times. This is my 7th playthrough in. But for the first time, I feel like I'm actually giving it a chance where I never did prior. So I have no idea if anyone's ever felt that same way, where it's like so long after the fact, you're actually giving the game something a chance for. It's fantastic. But you have to understand, at the time, it wasn't Mass Effect 1. So to me, it was lesser as a result.
Yeah, dude. And here's the thing, too. I'm wondering if that's going to get a big boost once again when that fucking limited or not limited series.
That's why I'm playing it. One of the reasons is because like I'm not going to get that re-release because honestly, it's not like they did with Spyro or Crash. It's just going to be a port, and I already have all the games in DLC. Why do I need to buy it again? I literally already own it. So I'm replaying because it's like, again, I love Mass Effect 1. I think, to me, it's personally one of my favorite games ever made because it was the first time I ever played a game like that. I've never played a game in which dialogue choices matter. That was the first time I ever touched that. So the fact that it did that, it gave me a chance to play it. I've literally played it 16 fucking times since its release because of how much I fucking like. And that is multiple times a year if you think about when this game fucking came out. And the sequel, but to me, the sequel is so different because the sequel wasn't Mass Effect 1. The best way to describe it, Nick, to you is Mass Effect 1 is Star Trek. It's the hope of the galaxy, and you're going to these different colonies, and you're dealing with these different philosophical events, and you can talk your way through it, but there's also some action. Mass Effect 2 is like Star Wars, where instead of going to like the bright military, you're going to like the fucking dirty underground, where everyone's a criminal, everyone's an asshole, every time you shoot somebody, there's some like hardened criminal, and everything, the color palette is all like dark and stuff, where everything feels like they went from Star Trek to Star Wars, where everything is terrible. There's slavers and murderers, and everything is the worst. But they managed to do a lot more stuff with the combat. They managed to do a lot more stuff with the dialogue options. But it is very, very, it's a tonal change that at the time I didn't appreciate. Now I'm a little bit older. I appreciate, I'm like, this is fantastic. But it's so weird because, like, if you were to talk to me 6 months ago, I'd be like, I don't like Mass Effect 2, like, as much as 1. Now it's like, I think I like it a little bit more, only because it's doing different stuff. But Mass Effect 1 still holds, like, for me, one of my favorite games ever made.
Yeah, plus, too, I mean, the first impressions mean so much because Mass Effect 2, obviously, anything that's really built, that's even slightly close to the first one, was built on its fucking, like, efforts and everything. So I totally get that. Yeah. But here's the thing that people, normally I would have to go right now, but what we're going to do really quick, I want to discuss this fucking trailer, and then we'll leave. And if there's any other issues with the chat and with Double Toast or whatever, guys, make sure to let me know in this chat right here.
For some fucking reason, we have 96 people.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
For all the 96 people here, before we get into the next trailer, X-Men sucks!
Oh, why you gotta do that? You know half of them are fucking X-Men fans gonna come in here like, hey, motherfucker. You
goddamn right, I fight every one of y'all. You're like Star Wars fans. Both of your shit sucks.
I want to say that, guys. I love X-Men very, very much. So, hey, at the end of the day, if you don't like what was said right now, you got one half on your end. You know what I mean? But the thing is, I gotta bring this up. This trailer came out like last week, I believe. I think January 15th it came out. And I was like, oh, Nicolas Cage. Look, I'm so sick of that fucking joke. Oh, we gotta watch Nicolas Cage because he's gonna be fucking crazy, blah, blah, blah. But, man, I don't know if this
And you're right. Let's continue with that thought process, because what the fuck was this trailer?
Oh, you gotta be kidding. You know this shit was cool with those
Oh,
puppets.
this shit was terrible. I'm sorry. This idea that people like Nicolas Cage. No. They like Nicolas Cage the same way they like Tommy Wiseau. It's because he's so over the top that anything he's in becomes increasingly more entertaining because how over the top it is. So this is a situation where it should be a horror movie, but no, he's crazy because it's Nick Cage. So he starts beating the shit out of this Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. And it's like they literally pull a line from fucking Watchmen. It's like he's not trapped in there with them. They're trapped in here with him. And so there's a bunch of hypercuts to make it seem like it's more interesting. For anyone that's wondering what the fuck this is about, basically, this guy gets he fucks up some rich dude's car. He's like, hey, if you can spend the night in this one place, clean it up, don't worry about the car. And he's like, okay, fine. But turns out it's some occult shit where people get sacrificed and missing, and he has to survive the night or he's gonna die. It's honestly, this is some dollar store fucking bargain bin shit. The only reason it's getting any sort of appeal or any sort of press is because Nicolas Cage is attached to it. This looks fucking terrible.
It does look terrible, but it looks fun terrible. Like just like
no, it doesn't. It looks bad terrible.
No, when Fox got it right in the head right there, man. No, popcorn movie, dude. You can't tell me that we would see this together in a movie theater.
The only reason anyone cares is because it's Nick Cage. If you put anybody else in there, none of y'all would care.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, especially just like how you were with Sonic the Hedgehog fucking last year. If the Corona was not a thing and we lived in the same place, you and me would go to the fucking movie theater and watch this.
You can't drag me to watch this bullshit.
Oh, you would so be. Why?
I would not watch this.
I would buy tickets to Sonic and you won't buy tickets to this. Come on.
Because at the end of the day, I don't like 95% of Nick Cage movies.
Well, I mean, same here. I can't even argue that.
Seriously, like somebody brought up Con Air. Con Air is fantastic. Face Off is great. And that's the first National Treasure. That's about
Ghost Rider?
it. Ghost Rider 1 is okay. Ghost Rider 2 is an abomination.
Yeah, that's true. But there's lots of good stuff here.
No, there isn't. There's a handful. Most of this shit sucks.
Ooh, and what was that movie that came out? Oh, man. Mandy. Mandy was good. That was the shit.
I mean, I never watched it because, again, I don't think Nicolas Cage is that good of an actor. I think he just
talking about
freaks out.
Out of Space recently. That's another one on Shudder.
I heard mixed things about that, but it's like, again, has he had a renaissance? Sure, but I'm not gonna watch his shit anymore because I don't care. Like I saw that one thing, Mom and Dad. It was terrible.
I thought that was kind of cool too. But aside from that, aside from Nicolas Cage of it all, I think that Five Nights at Freddy's, people wanted a movie that was like that, and I was the whole time was like, that's gonna be stupid. Don't fucking.
Nobody wants a Five Nights. Who wants a Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
Were you alive in 2012, or that was literally?
Yeah, 2012.
Hey,
this is 2020. No one's even thought about those games in years.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's gonna come back in a sense. Like the only reason why that fucking stopped for a while is people are like, well, I don't know how to stream the same thing over and over again, so I can't keep doing that. Whatever. Like if it became cool again and found a new way to fucking do it, that would totally be a thing all over again. And I think that this could have been very, very simple as far as like jump scares and everything, like Five Nights at Freddy is. But this is like straight up fucking like. This is scary, man. Like I know it's like okay, it's not necessarily scary because he's gonna fuck them up. But
no, it kind of pulled that whole thing of a reverse horror movie where it's like, oh, we think this guy's gonna get fucked up and terrified. No, he's gonna start beating the shit out of all these things. But I'm sorry, this looks fucking stupid. This would be a comedy, except for the editing makes it a horror movie.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it could be cool. Like I don't know, man.
I'm gonna call this right out right now. I'm gonna call this right now. This movie's gonna be a piece of shit.
Even if it is.
But people are like, well, it's okay, so it's so bad, it's good. No. This is gonna be bad.
Well, we'll see what happens, though. But I had to show you that trailer before we had to get the fuck out of here. The thing is, though, E-Mike, I saw the bits earlier, and I'm going to answer this question right now that you got for me. Diaz, you want to see MCU version of House of M, and do you see WandaVision becoming something of House of M? So we did talk about this the other day, but I'm going to have Alan answer that because I don't even know what House of M is. All I will say, though, is I have no faith in anything that Marvel's doing next, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm sorry for being such a fucking rude dick, but I hate Marvel. But Alan, take it away, sir.
I highly doubt it's going to lead to House of M because House of M is an Avengers crisis because it's a reset of the entire universe. I doubt it because that character would be too powerful, and we've not established this character is powerful enough to affect the entire cosmos. And honestly, who cares? The fucking Endgame affected the entire cosmos, and we saw Far From Home, and it doesn't matter. So even if it leads to House of M, it'll be a decent movie, and they'll just forget it ever existed. That's my biggest problem with the MCU. Is there's no consequences from movie to movie. I really think that this is the closest thing. WandaVision is the closest thing we're going to get to House of M because I'm utterly convinced, and if this is a spoiler, run away from WandaVision. I'm utterly convinced that all of this is occurring in either her head or a simulation because they literally proved as much. I just don't know who's controlling the simulation, but it is going to be a situation where she created this world because she misses Vision. That's what a lot of the fan theories are. And I think that they set that up enough. I think that this is the closest thing you get to House of M because she either creates a pocket dimension in her head or in real life where all this shit's happening. That's the closest you're gonna get to House of M.
And I feel the same way because here's the thing. I think House of M is going to happen, but it can't happen based on these shows. There's no way. I mean, it's too big of a storyline arc to do that. But like, I will honestly say too, I think the video games are going to get to it faster than the movies. I mean, if that makes sense.
You can easily do it in a game.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be something that's touched on. Because here's the thing too, like everyone always assumes that the 20th Century Fox purchase was because of the live action movies, but like they can use that for everything, right, Alan?
Yeah, straight up. They own the rest of the X-Men. They can easily do that. There has been an X-Men game, and I can't remember how long there's been an X-Men game, but they could easily be like, Disney's like, hey, somebody make an X-Men game and do whatever story you want. That's why X-Men Legends 1 and 2 are some of the best X-Men games ever, because they managed to do a mix of comic book and their own original stories. That's why I fucking love those games. But it's weird. It's been a long time since we've had a legitimate X-Men game. The last one I could think of is X-Men Destiny, and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah, man. But with that said, guys, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I fucking loved today's show. I usually wait to say that after the show. But, yeah, I had a great time with you guys. Thank you for all the fucking support. Thank you for just keeping the chat going. I'm going to be back, actually, in an hour. So hopefully you guys are still down to go with me and talk about some WWE Raw because as far as what I'm reading, WWE Raw really fucking sucked tonight. So, fuck.
So have fun.
But, Alan, why don't you tell people what doesn't suck, and that is your podcast you do with Ganja Guru.
Alrighty then. So if you guys are interested in a more political side, we literally just released an episode, so that should be going up tomorrow, unless I totally fucked it up. But basically, just follow me on Facebook, or follow any one of us on Facebook. You'll eventually get the notification, and then head your ass over to the Metropolis, where leave a like, and you'll get the notification for all sorts of new shows. The Nunes just did their shows; it's going to be up tomorrow as well. Content Cone has been doing their thing. Sports Pod, all these various different shows. So be sure to check that out.
Oh, yes, you guys already hear the music. Boom! We're here. We're hanging out with y'all. I love you guys. You guys are the shit. I'm Kirk saying Best Raw 2021.
I mean, is it the only Raw? Like,
we'll see, man. But I'm rating Mr. Herman. Normally I haven't been rating lately, but, we're going to go ahead and just throw it his way, see if he wants to enjoy that, Why don't y'all witness him? But we're leaving. Come back. I swear to God, in an hour, come back and watch me talk about some WWE Raw. Let's see if it's good or not. You will see soon. Appreciate it. Stay toasty. Attack that chat.
See ya.